Alright, just a quick audio check. Sound check 1, 2. Testing, testing. Get the audio boosted higher. Gonna need a moment. Sound check. Hello. Not getting as loud as I would like. Right, testing again. Alright, testing one more time. It's just not going to get any louder. Oh, there we go. All right, got that fixed. We'll go ahead and go live now. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Sorry about the small delays on getting everything started. I had some issues getting some of the program to work here, but it's all fixed now. I also have this now set up so that way we're broadcasting both to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. It's my first time trying to do such a thing. So it's also going to be harder for me to be able to keep track of the chat, and I'll try to do my best on that. But in any case, hope everyone is doing well. We'll go ahead and jump into what deck we're going to be playing with today. And I came up with a... Oh, I forgot to update the Twitch stream info. I do apologize. So, Cromela's Despair is what I have. Oh. For the deck design today. Alright. So, let me actually put this up here so I can find it a little easier next time. So this is a deck design that I came up with for today's stream. Our goal today is trying to use Cromela, the Glamorous Thief. Now, this is a card that most people kind of look over because it's just an uncommon from the set. But it is a 2/4 with haste that you can spend one, tap it, generate yourself a blue, a black, and a red. And you can use it only to cast instant and sorcery spells. But when it dies, you can return any instant or sorcery card from your graveyard back to your hand. Now, I see this is actually a really good thing for the deck, because we can use this with cards like the Maestro's Charm really well, also with Hostile Takeover. And these cards I haven't been seeing a whole lot of love lately, and I'd like to try them out, see if they actually can work out well. Now, Hostile Takeover, if you're not familiar with this, is it changes one creature's toughness up to, down to a 1/1 base stat, and then changes another one to a 4/4, and then deals 3 damage to each creature on the board. Now, it is up to one target, so you don't have to choose to modify any creature stats on the board if you don't desire. But it is still a 3 damage sweeper, and since you can adjust something down to a 1/1 base, you can usually kill something of your opponents, and because you can upgrade something to a 4/4 base, it means that you can actually prevent it from killing one of yours as well. The main goal of the deck actually is that we're going to try to use Cromela here, try to see how much value we can get out of playing our spells with the effect, because we have, like I said, the Maestro's Charm, Hostile Takeover, but we also have Invoke Despair as a key element to our deck. And this makes our opponent sacrifice a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker. For each one they can't, they lose 2 life, and we draw a card. Now, this is actually really strong because with Cromela in the deck, this means that we can have Cromela end up dying to something that happens on the board, and then we can get Invoke Despair back to hand. To help our concept here, we can actually sacrifice Cromela to a Make Disappear to force a trigger in the event that our opponent is playing a spell, and this will allow us to tax their spell by an extra 4 mana, because 2 for the initial and 2 again for the copy. Now, unfortunately, there aren't any other really strong casualty cards that I felt are casualty cards that I really felt were strong enough to make the cut other than Make Disappear. I did, debate a couple others, and it's kind of settled only on this one spell. To help round out our deck out, we have a couple Dissipates to give us a strong counterspell that exiles whatever it counters, some Soul Transfers that just exile a creature or a planeswalker. If we happen to have a artifact and an enchantment on the board, we can also use it for both its modes, which is to also return any creature or planeswalker from our graveyard back to our hand. We're running Fable of the Mirrorbreaker because it's just a very solid card in general. It counts as enchantment for the purpose of Soul Transfer. It gives us artifacts to and treasures from the token attacking, which help fix mana, the looting, and Kiki Jiki combo with Blood Type and Corpse Harvester, or a Corpse Appraiser, is just really good value. We have the Maestro Charms in the deck because it is solid removal. It's 5 damage for 3 mana to any creature or planeswalker, but it also can make our opponent lose 3 life or gain 3 life, or we can look at the top 5 cards, add 1 to our hand, put the rest in the graveyard. So it also serves as kind of like desperation draw in the event that we need it to be. Now, the deck idea, I'm not sure how it's going to work overall. I do know we run a lot of multicolored spells, so colorless sources aren't going to really be easy to use. But we're still running a couple Field of Runes as ways to hate on our opponent's creature lands. And we're running some Maestro Theaters because we are a kind of slow deck, and it helps fix our mana. And that way we can, ease up on some of these rare lands for fixing our lands. We'll jump into some games and see how well it performs. So he switches to the best of one. Hope everyone's been doing well. Let's see. Sorry, it seems my extension for me remove this. Okay. Is this not? Just trying to get the extension to work for the game here. That way people can be able to hover over and see what all the cards are easily. Alright, should be working now. I'm not 100% sure if it is or not. But, alright, so on the hand, we'll keep this. Alright, Xander's Lounge. Next turn we can go Swamp, Blood Tithe. It's actually a pretty solid hand that we have here. My question is, do we counterspell by Jawari's Disruption, or do they have a burn spell for the Harvester? Alright, to make disappear. Alright, looks like our opponent's going to hold up mana for spells. Let's still attempt Corpse Appraiser. Force the opponent to still have answers here. If they don't respond to this, we can exile this from our graveyard. And then we get the ability to try to dig for another land. Alright, we'll take the land. Alright. Opponent's playing it slow and safe. Next turn, they could potentially bring out a Goldspan Dragon, so I'm gonna just hold up all the mana here. That way we can either use Make Disappear or Dissipate, depending on what they play. I'll go ahead and counterspell that with a Dissipate. If they use another counterspell to try to get this to resolve, that's fine. It'd be great if we can draw another land so we can go for our own Fable and then hold up Make Disappear. Not that lucky. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and try to resolve Fable of our own. See what the opponent does. They let it resolve. Alright, we'll probably see a Goldspan from our opponent, if they have it. The whole reason why they went for their Fable is probably because they were playing around a Make Disappear of our own. Alright, Expressive Iteration from our opponent. That's a spell I forgot to try to include in our deck. It's actually really solid card advantage. Alright, we unfortunately miss on land again. Trying to think, like, what do we discard? I'm going to discard both of these. Actually, let's hold that. Let's discard a Despair. I move straight to combat, so that way I can try to get ourselves a treasure here. Go for the lounge. Go for Appraiser. There aren't any creatures in the graveyard at the moment, so we'll decline. I'm gonna hold up the mana so I can possibly respond to our opponent's spell. Alright, let's go for the attack. Since we have Infernal Grasp, we can kill their Hollow Storm Giant if they try to activate that as a defender. Okay. We've now brought the opponent down to a really low life total that they have to respond to the board state, otherwise they lose. We will activate the Causality, give up Corpse Appraiser. So, even if the opponent pays for this or tries to counterspell it, the second copy will still get rid of the Hinata. And at this point, even if they do have, like, Burn Spell, we just cast Invoke Despair and kill the opponent. Alright, good game, opponent. Alright, control versus control, and we out-controlled them. Hey there, Puradabo, how things going? Well, actually, no, we're not really strictly Grixis vampires. While we are taking advantage of certain vampires, I actually don't have it designed to be a vampire deck. I'm just... Here's the funny thing, is I'm using Bloodtithe Harvester because it generates artifacts, and it's just a solid removal creature that, like, it's aggressive and is able to be used as removal. But the artifact helps us with Soul Transfer, because if we have an enchantment like Mirror Breaker, we can get both the exile and the recursion function off this card. So that's why I was doing like this like pseudo vampire-ish deck. Like I have Corpse Brazier in here because it's still a solid 3-drop. And I figure I was just going to lean hard into the Grixis because we're actually focusing on using Glamour Thief, which also again just happens to be a vampire. So I mean, it's not intended to be a vampire deck, but it's just kind of is one. None of our cards care that the other cards are vampires. But I'm guessing 10 out of 4. I mean, I guess that you really like the cards here. All right. On the open, I'm not sure how well this hand is going to work, but we'll go ahead and give it a try. Main issue with this hand is Field of Ruin here means we can't really use Maestro's Charm necessarily. I'll still bring out Field of Ruin so that way I can, you know, hold up Make Disappear. We'll let that resolve. Okay, so on the top 3, the opponent missed land and ended up having to throw away a very useful card. You know what? I'm going to mess with the opponent. I'm going to counterspell that one. See if they're trying to dig their lands. Didn't seem to be the case. Alright, let's go for Mirror Breaker. We'll play the Theater, and we'll get ourselves... I'm feeling like a Black Source. Alright, Fading Hope for our opponent. That's unfortunate. Alright, Windfall for our opponent. Considering the opponent is a Galvanic Iteration deck, I think their main win condition's the Horror. So we might have to be a little more careful about what we're keeping here. We'll give up these. Alright, we get Cromela. We'll attempt to bring it to the board. I'm just going to pass it back. Now we can hold up Make Disappear. One, two, three, four. Alright. Iteration for our opponent. Opponent only has 5 mana. They go for Windfall. Ooh, Tasha City's Laughter Mill. Okay. Now I know what the opponent's plan is. We're against Red-Blue Mill. Let's see. If that's the case, let's Maestro's Charm here. We'll go ahead and tell the opponent to lose some life. Not what I was hoping for. Yeah, the opponent's got so much extra mana that these make disappears are not likely to impact our opponent. You know, we don't really need Reflection. We'll let that resolve. We have to save this for once when they try to go for milling us out. Because they use the red invocation, so they can replay the spells from the graveyard. Of course, you're a turn late. No attacks. Blood attack to the board. Pass it back. You might be wondering why I say no attacks. The reason is there is a small chance that I'm going to want to use this for mana, use Disappear, sacrifice it to the Disappear, and be able to play the another one from the graveyard. Okay, so as I was saying, we are going to float mana, sacrifice, go for the counterspell, grab another one, and this makes it so where the opponent cannot pay the mana to be able to pay for that mill. And we're going to force them just to spend their treasure. We're a lot of high-cost cards, so it doesn't hit as nearly as bad as other decks. Return Cromela. And pass back. We'll attempt to bring Cromela to the board. Alright, they're going to invoke Calamity because we're tapped out. Here comes the double Tashas. And we still have 7 cards left in deck, but we could still lose this. If we get another turn... Oh wait, let's actually put a stop on our upkeep, because... No, I don't have enough to drain them quite. We're going to come 1 point short possibly here. Because if the opponent hits another Tasha's, we do not have anything to stay in this. But we managed to survive 3 Tasha's resolving. Another Tasha's. Alright, yep. Good game. We're just going to go ahead and hit the scoop button. That was close. We literally were 1 point short of killing the opponent because we don't actually die on our upkeep. We die on the draw. And this is instant speed, 6 life loss. So we really had the opponent down to 1 life. It was a close match. If I'd realized what kind of deck they were from the start, I probably would have went for a more aggressive plan against them. I thought they were, a Hullbreaker Horror deck, and was trying to play a little more cautiously for that. And now getting punished for it. Alright. Let's see. We are kind of lacking blue sources here and black sources. Blood Tithe we can play on turn 2 thanks to the theater getting us a black source, though. We'll try keeping it and see how this works. Alright, I'm just going to play for Voltage Surge against our opponent. Because they always have the turn 2 Aspirant here. No? No turn 2 Aspirant? Go for the kill spell then. Alright, Infernal Grasp is very good for us. We'll probably see a burn spell go to our face. Nope. I guess just holding up that mana might have held our opponent off from playing their 2-drop and slowed them down. But then again, they could always have just missed getting a 2-drop. Alright, let's go for Fable and Mirrorbreaker here. Oh well. Play with fire. Our Thundering Raiju we can kill with either the Charm or the Grasp. But we're going to kill it before it goes to their turn. We'll discard... I think we just discard Invoke Despair. Alright, let's just use Grasp here. It probably would have been better if I discarded Grasp and something else. So I could try to dig in for the extra black source here. Interesting, so they play that right then, huh? Bring down Harvester. We'll pass it back. This way we can see if we want to use... Ah, there we go. There's something else we want to murder instead. See, how does this work? Attacking creatures you control have double strike. We'll murder it right now. Now, if the opponent is smart, they try to attack and force me to trade here. Because I do not want to block because we have the Reflection of Kiki Jiki combo. Alright. Activate. Because we have to do this during our turn because it's a sorcery speed activate to kill these. And we'll pass it back. Maestro's Charm allows us to kill the adversary. But also does give us the option just to drain the opponent for 3. Alright, Brutal Cathar. We're fine with that. Let's just drain the opponent for 3. The reason why I do that is because we can use the other Meister's Charm, kill the Brutal Cathar, copy Blood Tithe, and get rid of the adversary. Ooh, I actually like playing this a little more. Oh wait, we don't have any creatures in our graveyard? I guess not. Alright, let's destroy this then. And we'll pass back. If they get the land, animate Bugbear, we block, kill Bugbear, and then we can use Soul Transfer on the 1/1 token and reanimate the Blood Tithe. Alright. Is it worth it? If I do that, there's no guarantee that the opponent doesn't play something and punish us. Might need to just hold up for the Infernal Grasp. If the opponent doesn't bring out anything worth grasping, we can just discard it to the blood. Okay. Go for Fable. Copy the token, attack with it. Pass the turn. I don't want to just use this to kill off a 1/1. I'd like to see the opponent bring something else to the board that's more worthwhile. That's definitely more worthwhile. And crap, we're on the night side. Does that mean we're dead? Because we can block... Because this goes up to 5. Block 2. So, no, we're dead, even. Should have discarded first. Yep, still dead. Well done. Well done, opponent. If it wasn't nighttime, we would have been fine, but since it was night, it gets trampled with extra 2 power. What turned it to night? Like, what did they play earlier? Oh, right, Brutal Cathar. That was the only card I was not thinking of that the opponent was playing that would have been able to come down and punish us. Because I was thinking, it's like, okay, if they play a Thundering Raiju, we'll go down to 1, but we'll still stay alive. But I didn't think of that werewolf. Alright, let's see what we got here. I think this one's going to be a mulligan. We can keep this one. Question is, what do we put on the bottom? I think we'll put a... We'll put the Infernal Grasp on the bottom. We'll lead with the Theater, go get ourselves a black source. This will allow us to turn 2, play the red source, go Blood Tithe. Turn 3, we can play Mirror Breaker. If they go Plains into a Lumeric Aspirant, it's going to be such an annoyance. Alright. Guess who's getting exiled? Oh, man. Alright, Brutal Cathar, not the end of the world. Treasure Dragon, why not attack? What? I think I might have missed your comments there earlier, Tim Morrell. Not entirely sure what you were referring to. Alright, let's go for Fable. We'll use this, go get ourselves our blue source. Alright, opponent just hitting us with bombs every turn. I think I'll keep these both. So I can play them both this turn. There's no creature for me to exile with this Corpse Appraiser, but we may as well just put both of them to the board. I think this is the card that just tilts me the most in the format. It's just because it's in every single white deck. Just because it's that good of a card. Alright, get rid of this. Pass it back to the opponent. With it being night, it means that even if they bring down a Brutal Cathar, it won't exile. We're sadly missing one black source, otherwise I would have just fired off Invoke Despair as well. They don't have any spell in their graveyard, but they still can just put an extra +1/+1 counter on it. Last game, Dragon would have killed you also. Last turn, why didn't you attack after clearing the board? I'm honestly not sure what time you're talking about. I mean, the time where I was trying to be safe because they run so many haste creatures? There hasn't been a safe time for me to attack any of my opponents in these last couple games. Alright, so the opponent just declaring this as an attacker is going to hit us for 2. We go down to 4. Alright. Get rid of Raiju, block here, and unfortunately we're dead just because they have Bugbear that they can activate. So even if we do give a hard sweep to this opponent, we're still just dead on board. Yep. We'll just go ahead and discard this, just see if we can maybe draw something a little more interesting. That actually... Does that save us? That does save us. So, before the opponent declares attackers, we'll let them try to place a counter with the Luminarch Aspirant +1/+1 counter here. So, submit 0. And deal 5 damage, get rid of this. Alright. Discard, draw. Discard, draw. Come on, give us something good. Something we can play. Alright, that can at least go on the board. We're so dead here. Because if they bring anything to the board, we now have to get a sweeper, and our sweeper doesn't kill Lunar Aspirant because it has 3 counters, and they just get a Raiju off the top. Yep. Oh, no worries, Izzy. I mean, I hope you at least enjoyed what you saw of the deck we designed for you, based off your request. Hope you enjoyed your birthday. Alright. I think I might just have to mainboard something that's just a side deck card, just because of Lunar Aspirant. Alright. It's a little awkward keeping this, but I'll go ahead and try it. Can we not see a turn 2 Lunar Aspirant again? I'm just tired of seeing the card. Show something different. Oh, white-green, huh? Alright. Let's see. Still turn 2 Lunar Aspirant. Why'd you have to spend so long thinking about that? It's like the most turn-off brain play you can ever do. So, I think we're against maybe red, white, green humans. Yep, there's the red. Which means we still have to worry about, like, Halana and Alina, the partners, coming down. I mean, it is true that they could have been worried about that, Temeril, that they're worried about the burn spell for 1, but I'm just going to move on to the next game. I have nothing I can do against this. With this hand, I can't do anything. My primary sweeper deals 3 damage to everything. This is going to grow out of the range of it next turn. Possibly. The fact that they brought down Athalia meant that I also couldn't cast anything from our hand. Because we ended out with a colorless source instead of a blue source. Can we please just not get paired against Lunar Aspirant? Like, I have removal spells now for it. I guess it's okay to get paired against it this time. But when I have this kind of a hand, it's going to be red-blue. Ooh, mono black. Ooh, black-white. Alright, a little different. Not very different, but a little. I'm going to attack in, see if they're willing to trade their Shambling Ghast here. Thanks, Izzy, for the hydrate. Now, I figured they were blocking. I just wasn't sure if they're going to go with the -1, -1. Or they were going to, like, sacrifice it so that way they can get their card draw advantage. I'm actually fine with just trading that off. Alright. Maestro's Theater, we'll go get ourselves another black source. Actually, do I get black or blue here? I think it's still best to get Black Source, because we have the Invoke Despair. I was thinking possibly Blue Source because we run Dissipate. And Dissipate does require double blue. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the top 5. See what we have. I'm just going to go ahead and grab the red-blue source here. Corpse Appraiser. Going to exile their creature from their graveyard. Grab the Soul Transfer. And we pass it back. I mean, we have all of our exile removal right now. Only problem is we don't really have... We've gone through, like, almost all of our control options. Alright, opponent hits us with an Invoke. That's the only control spell we haven't come across. The worst part is I can't even use Field of Ruin against them. They haven't put any non-basic in play. So even if we were to draw the Invoke, I couldn't search it out of the deck. Alright, we're just in a staring contest with the opponent. I'm just going to go ahead and discard Infernal Grasp here. Make Disappears are so late to the fight. Alright, there's Cromela. Thanks to Cromela, if they actually destroy it, we can get back any of our spells from our graveyard. We'll just use Make Disappear. Save the Dissipate. Because at this point, Make Disappear, it's going to be very hard for us to catch a point where that's going to actually counterspell something. An Elspeth.
Right. Let's clean up this town.
Okay, that's kind of odd. See, we could do a hostile takeover here, but I don't think that's the play. I think we just Soul Transfer, exile the Elspeth.
Fall back.
And we continue the staring contest. I may as well block it. I think they're just going to go for a Blood on the Snow here. Oh, okay, Niganjo. Alright. Well, we get a spell back. I guess we'll just make it Soul Transfer, so that way we can just replay her back from the graveyard. See, opponent, do you have any creatures in your graveyard? You do not. I'm gonna go for the Soul Transfer. Grab Cromela. And it'll be the opponent's turn again. And this is one of the nice loops with Cromela, because we're using Soul Transfer. If she gets killed by a Destroy spell, we can just keep bringing her back. See, actually no. Yeah, that's the way we tap for it. Oh, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Something to actually blow up. We have too many cards in hand. In that case, let's get rid of this. Let's grab a blue source. Corpse Appraiser. Grab the Fable. And at this point, we'll just discard a Make Disappear here. Does this hit Planeswalkers or only creatures? Just creatures. Okay. Elsbeth, back to the board.
There are good people in this city, and I will protect them.
Alright, opponent goes for flying. Invoke Despair. Opponent's just waiting on his blood on the snow, and I just know it. Let's see. Let that resolve. Because he sacrificed that before spell resolved, we'll actually get a card draw off of that. No, just let it resolve. And end turn, discard, make disappear. Here comes Blood on the Snow. We'll hit with the Dissipate. Come on, opponent. Do it. You know you want to. A Meat Hook. Alright, well, we'll still get rid of the Meat Hook. There's Blood on the Snow. Both of them are bad to let the opponent have. We'll just grab the Invoke Despair. Because with them doing the -3, any creature that they pull out, we just can kill with it. Alright, opponent. Feel some despair. Bring out our Fable. Yeah, this is unfortunately one of those long matches, just because it took us forever to find the creature end of our deck. Oh no! The Trespasser! Well, that's rude. I kinda needed that. And we will soul transfer. Choose both sides. Are we sure we want to target it? Yes, we are. Grab back Cromela. We'll discard the hostile takeover. Now, the opponent is more than likely going to hit us with another hard sweep here, but we got our Cromela back, which means we can loop another Despair here. The only concern is now just how many cards are left in our deck. Alright, opponent brings out the Trespasser. They have a large list of cards to sort through in our graveyard. They get rid of one of our soul transfers. Still another one in the graveyard. Alright, they go for a plus. We're just going to hit with another Invoke, and that's possibly going to cause them to scoot. Let's see. Make sure I can tap the mana. I'm going to submit 0. There we go. Tap it like that. Opponents get hit by Despair. And we're going to send in 2 damage. That's just going to be tapped, so they can't block with it. They could have actually have activated that to sacrifice instead of the Trespasser, but there we go. We caused them to blow up there. We actually had lethal on our turns, especially as long as they didn't have that land for blocking, because we could have used this to punch in 3 damage all along with the 2 there, but we get there. It was quite the grindy match, but okay. This is a little too hard of a hand to keep. We'll hit Mulligan. We'll try this one. I think we'll put Takeover on the bottom. I think the early game spot removal will be a little easier to keep. Put down the red source. Just gonna burn off the etchings. We're gonna lose 2 life regardless. Pass it back. Holding up, make disappear, because we can take 1 from an initiate without much issue. Counterspell the Sunrise. Fortunately, we're missing a black source for this Invoke Despair. It's like we hit 5 lands, but we unfortunately need another black source. Alright, pass it back. Yep, Thundering Raiju. Charm, deal 5 damage, get rid of Raiju. All the protection spells in white right now cost 2 mana, so I felt very confident we'd be able to get that resolved. Alright. I'm gonna have to exile this, because they bring down another Raiju that's way too much damage for us to take. Because they brought down another Raiju that was effectively 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Alright, we hit the black source we needed. So next turn we can play the Despair, potentially remove any creature that they put on the board, and get ourselves some card draw. Alright, don't put anything on the board. We'll just still fire it off just for the card draw and damage. Alright, we'll play this. Trying to think what color we get. I don't think it matters at this point. We have so much fixing already. I'll get another black source. That's gonna hurt. I mean, it's a good thing they didn't have one more land in play, because then they would have been able to cast 2 spells out of their graveyard. That's still 5 damage coming in. Alright. Invoke some more Despair. I'm going to play it safe, hold up Maestro's Charm. Yep. 5 damage. Gain some life. Get another land out of the deck. And it'll be the opponent's turn. Next turn we can use Takeover. It'll oh, okay, I was gonna say it kills any creature they bring to the board. Let's discard these 2. I still hit more land, wow. There's not much land left in my deck anymore. Holding back blocker just because our opponent does run a ton of haste cards. I want to protect my face. Alright. Since we have so many lands, I'm just going to hold this one, maybe discard. Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. What's with all of you... the burn spells you keep hitting? I'm gonna die just because they keep top decking burn. Because they pay that, they get themselves the 3 damage to our face. They could always kill off our Harvester, and we're forced to block with Kiki Jiki. But they get greedy and just go for our face right now. Alright, we give a block. Alright, we're at 1. I send the Goblin in, but I hold Kiki back because this way I'm able to create a copy of this token as a blocker if they brought out a hasting. But since they didn't, end of their turn, I have a stop. I accidentally hit my turn. Alright. And that was a stop on my end turn, not theirs. So I punted. But we still have lethal because we top decked the charm. Alright. We beat the red-white deck. We get our vengeance from the many times we played against it now. Boy. Alright. Alright, we have a keepable hand. We'll keep it. Alright. If we had a red source, this hand would be a lot easier to play. But I'd also like to play against something different than red-white aggro. Alright. Let's see, for our turn we can go for Field of Ruin, destroy the Bugbear, get ourselves a red source. Since they'll come play untapped, we can Voltage Surge. We can use that to kill off the Initiate. Alright, we kill off Initiate because it's going to keep growing, unlike Kumano, which is just always going to be a 2-2. The fact that they found another down the Bugbear does not make me happy. So if I bring this down, they play anything with haste or damage to our face, we're done because the trample here plus 2 damage. Like they can just play Etching as a Kumano, do 1 damage, and that's just the end of us. Yep, that's game. I think I'm going to make a quick adjustment to the deck. Because of how many times we come across that deck. Let's see, where is it? Parasitic Grasp. Give up our counter spells just to deal damage to creatures. Makes our fight against control terrible, but I'm honestly getting tired of how many times it's just red white aggro. It's a strong deck. There's no denying that. Alright, on the open, I think I might just need to take these Field of Ruins out. We'll try keeping it. Land for our turn. Oh look! It's red-white aggro again. It's a good thing that's an instant. See, on their upkeep. And resolve. Get ourselves another black source. I'm going to Desperation Dig for land. Hopefully we can top deck another land. We can just use Hostile Takeover and just sweep whatever they bring to the board. Come on, deck. Give us that land. Awesome. So you'll be a 1, submit 0, and there we go. The Hostile Takeover put in work finally. Jeez, another Stormseeker. This is literally just a mono red haste deck, splashing white just for Aspire and the exile based werewolf. Alright. Another takeover happens. Can I stop seeing haste creatures from you? I mean, it also uses the red-white knight, which also has haste. I mean, it's just threat after threat after threat. Now, I think it would have been better for them just to have used this, even though they don't have any spells in their graveyard. Instead of playing faces of Kakazan, just play that as the 3/3. Would have done the same amount of damage in the turn. But now they wouldn't have like a 2/2 body on board. Okay. Resolve. Deal 5 damage. She's back. Get the Fable. If we get through this one, it's going to be surprising considering how much aggression they had. Resolve. Yep. Come on, attack with everything. You know you want to. Alright, we got down to 2. Means we're dead to any burn spell off the top of their deck, but... Alright. I mean, we discard these because we can't even play them anymore. Invoke some Despair. Play this, get a point of life. Takes us out of the range of the 2 damage burn spell. No attacks. Parasitic Grasp actually might be a game-changing savior for us. I think we still hold on to defense. No clue what our opponent has in hand. Kami's Flare. Okay, they don't have anything with Modify, so we get to survive. How many cards do we have in our graveyard that we can bring back? Could trade her off, get an Invoke Despair. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have the ability to do that and cast it. I float her mana. Cast Invoke. Oh, I forgot that I had to play my land to do that. I'm giving my opponent quite the opportunity here. Thankfully, they do not get to capitalize on it. Alright, opponent scoops it up. Because we are now outside the range of the burn spell with that little bit of life gain there. Alright, let's see. I think it's too greedy keeping this one. I mean, if we draw lands, it's actually a pretty solid hand, but I don't want to take the risk. Keep this one. We'll go ahead and put Soul Transfer on the bottom. Alright, let's start off with the lounge. Next turn we go for the theater, and then we'll start playing 3-drops. White, blue, green. Alright. Announcement has been made by our opponent. We'll respond with a Fable. Are we seeing Chariot come down? Or is this a Wandering Emperor turn? Alright, March. And another announcement. Alright. This could be tough. Discard the mountains. Go for another Fable. Rabble rousing. Alright, so in order for us to get back into this match, we're going to need to get a sweeper. So we'll end up probably discarding these to Reflections. Let's see. Attack. That's one less attacker coming in at us, which means that they get less for their rabble. Invoke Despair will cost them one of their enchantments, which means we shrink their cards. Okay, Welcoming Vampire gives them a card draw. It only triggers once each turn. Block here. Still cannot get another land. I guess I discarded too many lands at the start there. Go for another Fable. Pass it back. Can you not? I mean, it's getting annoying with that. Alright, Brutal Cathar coming down. Create a copy here so that way we have a jump blocker. Wandering Imp can give any one of them a +1/+1 counter in first strike at any time because of when it first came into play, but they fire it off right away. There was no hesitation there. Can I get lucky enough to finally draw our sweeper? No. But we still have a chance, so let's discard these. There it is. There's the hostile takeover. Now, unfortunately, this is just like a turn late. Because we can't... Wait. Oh no, we actually can shrink that one and kill it. Unfortunately, we're still a turn late on it, just because... Okay. Opponent hat is dead. I think they got, you know, the blindsiders saying, must protect Wandering Emperor. Let's see here. Discard. Play this. Get ourselves a land. Attack Wandering Emperor. Parasitic Grasp. Get rid of the shield. Get rid of Falco Spara. Alright, we're kind of still in this. Another rabble rousing. Alright. It's getting tough. No blocks. That's unfortunate timing for when this transforms, but at the same time, it's good timing. So we hostile takeover. You are a 1. You are a 4. Take out the Wandering Emperor. If I have another Wandering Emperor in hand, this is going to feel bad, but okay, good. It was just them cycling. Oh man, we are somehow clawing our way back into this match. Corpse Appraiser. Get rid of the Cathar from their graveyard. Grab Takeover. Land Pass. Alright, that hurts, because we'll go down to 1 here. Actually... Yeah, we'll go down to 1. I was going to say if we could maybe get a grasp here, but... Submit 0. Get the sweep. Theater. Theater grabs another land. We've almost got all of the lands that are the basics out of the deck. Only 1 left. Alright, a winning announcement is very dangerous to us. Because it means that they could attack with that and get themselves 2 creatures for it. But we have ourselves some decent bodies now to the board. I think we'll just sacrifice, get rid of this right now. Because we have another one in hand that we can bring down. All right. We're out of sweepers at this point, so we have to just handle what's on board. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what they sacrifice. I'd love it if they had sacrificed another one of these, but getting rid of the rousing is good for us. Send this in. And we'll bring down the Blood Tithe right now. Oh, jeez, another announcement. Oh, hey there, Tommy Chen settling. How things going? Sorry, I didn't notice you immediately when you came in, but hope you're doing well. Alright. Block everything. Oh, no. Untap. Use the blue mana. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Cromela, sacrificing our current Cromela because they're legendaries. Get ourselves Hostile Takeover. Play the Hostile Takeover. Oh, wait. Before I do that. Alright, we'll just call you Tommy then. Let's see. Use this, create a copy of Corpse Braiser. May as well get the extra value out of this while we can. Grab ourselves a Soul Transfer. Play this. And this will be the 4/4. No attacks. Oh my gosh. The opponent won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay, so if we Soul Transfer here, how much mana would we have left over? So, let's see. We can use this. Use 2 of that floating mana. We can get a Cromela. Cromela can then do the sweep again. Because we can bring this down. Yes. Keep this one. Hostile takeover. Play hostile takeover. And we'll attack for the 4 since they're tapped out. I do not think they have any haste cards that we have to worry about. Oh, there's Wandering Emperor to exile something. Alright. That's fine. That's fine. Because we Invoke Despair, gets rid of Wandering Emperor, gets rid of the last creature, gets rid of an enchantment. We get 0 card draw out of this. I'm going to discard, draw one of these right now since we can't play it due to our life total. Pass the turn, because if they had another Wandering Imp, they could just use the -1, create the 2/2, and kill us. Okay, so I'm going to attack in now, because we have removal spells that we can play. All-time Planeswalker. Well, I remember you said you enjoyed Tamio a lot. Are we actually going to manage to successfully recover this? This was a very close game here. Alright, Brutal Cathar is during nighttime, so nothing happens here. But the problem is it's nighttime, so I can't target that. Okay, this is going to be probably the weirdest thing you're ever going to see me do. I'm going to play Infernal Grasp. I'm going to target my creature. Yes. No game! I wanted to counterspell it! Oh my gosh. Thank you, game, for doing all sorts of things wrong. Ah! The goal was, we make disappear our own spell. Decline the mana pay. It turns to day. This will flip over. We can use the Parasitic Grasp plus Voltage Surge to kill the Brute then. Oh my gosh. Freaking... I think I forgot to hit full control mode, and it's like I could have swore I pushed the button. I guess it just didn't read it. Oh... It's always painful when something like that happens. Like, we had to wipe their board, I think, what was it, 4 times? Because just how many times they just kept repopulating. Oh well. Okay. Off the open, I think this one's keepable. Alright, mono white, or possibly white blue. The decks that use these double spell plans sometimes splash blue just so when they get some card draw to be able to chain cast more. Most of the time it's just mono white, but there are those occasions. We focus on killing the Clarion Spirit because this generates some 1/1 flying tokens every single time they play 2 spells. Yep, and here comes the +1/+1 counter for the Code Spell Cleric. This hostile takeover should do some great work for us. I'm fairly certain the moment we cast it, the opponent is going to completely lose. But let's see, get ourselves another black source. Alright, Portable Hole gets rid of Harvester. That's a shame. Next turn we bring out Cromela. Cromela should give us enough of a block for a turn that we should survive their next attack. No attacks. So they have to have one of the creatures that enter the battlefield and exile this to really punch in damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If they do, they get us for 9. Then we can sweep. Put us down to 2 life and playing a very defensive game again, but this should actually be enough of a deterrent that they probably don't attack with these, they just only swing with the air. But they put the all attack in, it's actually worse for us, because we do plan on sweeping. No, we haven't lost yet. We're good here. This going to the board is causing the opponent to really think over their plans. Alright, that's actually good for us that they decide to dedicate another creature to the board. Alright, so let's see, we spend the mana like so. We'll say that's a 1, this is a 4/4. Bring out the Blood-Tithe Harvester. And at this point, it should be an easy game. There's that Skyclave. Just a turn late for our opponent. Sadly, we're missing our land for this, but let's try attacking in first, see if they go for the trade, because we get ourselves a 4/4 if they trade. Pass it back. I still have to be careful of a Wandering Emperor just suddenly coming down. The fact that the opponent doesn't have any non-basics in our deck and we drew both our Field of Runes kind of feels bad. Like, we run this as a 2-of, and we drew both of them. So we're getting locked out on this black source. Opponents. Are they giving an assault, or are they thinking things through? Alright. Oh, our creature was exiled, so we don't have it in the graveyard. We'll swing 4. Holding Harvester back, just in case, like I said, they have Wandering Emperor. Alright, it's just Iganjo. We'll pass back. Since we don't really have any creatures to reanimate, we'll just discard the Soul Transfer here. And we'll go ahead and look at our top 5 cards. We'll grab Cromela. Let's attack in. Bring down Cromela. And pass back. Alright, there's the Aspirant for our opponent. Go for an Invoke Despair. Alright, that should basically seal this one up here. Alright, we'll let them have the 2-1. Because Make Disappear lets us basically counterspell anything that's an issue. And... actually, I'm sorry. Let me do it this way. Submit 0. And Invoke Despair finishes off our opponent. And there we go. Took down Mono White Double Spell. Hope everyone's enjoying the deck idea here. It's been a while since I've been able to play just some like Grixis control, and I think the deck actually has some fun aspects to it. It's one of those things. Whenever you get paired against the red-white aggro deck, it's do you have enough answers, or do they, ever run out of gas? Alright. This seems actually like a pretty good hand. We'll keep it. We play the theaters, get ourselves our black and blue source that we need. If we draw a blue source off the top, we can always get the double black then. Alright. We see Eye Twitch, but I don't see Snowlands for our opponent, so it might not be mono black, it might be like black-green or something. But then again, it could just be that they're mono black and not using blood on the snow. I think I'm going to prioritize actually just getting the black sources. We'll send in the attack. We'll let the trade happen. And we'll get rid of last Eye Twitch while we're at it. This way we're not having to worry about taking any pressure while we develop the turns. Okay, so it's black-white for our opponent. Fortunately, we miss a land drop. We go for Fable. Probably end up discarding Maestro's Charm here. And we'll discard and invoke Despair. Not good. Alright. Exile a creature or planeswalker. Goodbye, Lolth. We send the attack in so that way we can get our treasure. More than likely it just gets blocked by a spider here. Interestingly enough, the opponent doesn't trade. I never understand why opponents won't trade sometimes against the little goblin, because it gives so much value getting these treasures off of it. I mean, if they're planning on just doing like a Meat Hook Massacre to sweep up, then I guess it makes sense why they're not trading, but... Swing in. Okay, thank you very much, opponent. You still let us get the treasure off this, which means I'm going to hit you with an Invoke Despair, get rid of your Emperor. Actually, I think it's probably better we just simply Voltage Surge here. Because then we can go for Fable. In doing so, we try to set up something we can try to maybe discard, draw, and actually find some lands. Now, Reflections of Kiki-Jiki is not going to get to exist. I know that. But I honestly thought they had like a sweeper plan set up. Alright, we actually hit our land. We'll still give up Maestro's Charm, though, since we don't have the blue source. Alright, that's a blue source. Let's first attack. See if the opponent's got any plans for this. Alright, discarding Iganjo, that's fine. Play this, get ourselves... Get ourselves a blue source, and we'll actually just play Cromela. We still have a treasure here, which is enough to be able to play the Invoke Despair off of. Because we got this new ridge to our hand. Rites of Oblivion, unfortunately. Well, it looks like we're just going to play this Invoke Despair and just get draw value off of it. Nothing like make your opponent lose 6, draw 3. The fact that the opponent was able to exile or Carmella is kind of a feels bad, because we had another Invoke Despair in the graveyard that we had to discard earlier. Let's see here. Let's go for Fable. Make a copy here. And get some treasure. Turgid's Lantern, not too worried about. I mean, it does make us lose quite a bit of life here. We'll discard Xander's Lounge. And we'll choose to lose 3 life. No, we can sacrifice the blood. Sacrifice a non-land permanent, sacrifice blood. We'll discard this. Alright, that gives us a little bit of life, gives us another land. Copy here. Turgid's Lantern is actually not scary to us anymore because these just generate us a whole bunch of treasure, which are just sacrifice fodder for the lantern. With the amount of damage we have on board, if the opponent tries to just lantern us to death here... Alright, well, let them move to combat. When they move to combat, we can sacrifice to the Field of Ruin to get rid of the Eye Tyrant. Get ourselves another land. Now, the opponent can always just activate another Eye Tyrant just to send in, but at this point, we're okay with that. It's not going to be lethal to us. They tell us to do anything with Turgid's Lantern, we just pay to life. Copy here. Send it. We'll let them get their block. Funny enough, they misblocked on which one they should block. I actually do need to kill this. I just realized that if I don't kill it, we'll be short 2 points. And there we go. Alright, let's see how the deck's been doing according to our deck tracker. Let's see, so that way you can see the deck design while I'm doing this. Come on, deck tracker. Alright, so we didn't really do very well with the deck in the sense that we didn't really get a positive note, but we didn't get a negative. It was 6 and 6. So we were dead even. One of the problems is we ended up playing against a lot of white-red aggro, and we went 2 and 3 against that. So here, let me see. There you go, there's the browser. That way you can see like how the deck did. The matchups, our win rate was, like I said, it was just 6 and 6 here. So but whenever we were on the play, we had a very high win rate. On the draw, we unfortunately moved a little too slow. But white-red was definitely our hardest matchup out of all of these. White-black control, we actually did an amazing job against them. We only did play against the blue-red deck once, and unfortunately just didn't go quite well. That one white-blue-green deck, though, I feel like we got robbed because of the misinput. I think we could have won that one. But then again, that would mean that we'd only still be 7 and 5, which isn't a spectacular score, but it would be still a positive at least. There was some testing of this deck before. Oh wait, we actually did this at the start before we made changes, and we were actually 3 and 1. It's weird. I could have swore that we were... Oh well. So, overall, the deck actually didn't do too bad. Oh yeah, so this is the grand total. This was after changes. We went 3-1. Before changes, we were 3-5. So that means the changes of adding these parasitic grasps definitely helped out. All right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that deck idea. This was something I tried to prepare, and I wanted to try to show how well Cromela could actually work. And it was interesting actually seeing her mechanics take place. Now, I honestly don't think Hostile Takeover is that good of a sweeper. I think I'd be better off playing Burn Down the House or a couple of other variants. But I just wanted to see how well this can actually work. The card Invoke Despair definitely still a powerhouse of a card, and one of the reasons why I thought would also work well with Cromela is just because after you play this, you can end up just getting more ability to keep playing them with Cromela's death. But I think the Vampire Shell with Corpse Appraiser, Bloodtide Harvester still work really well, especially with the Fables. Gives you a lot of that early game presence, and the Fable combos are just insane if you ever can perform them. Being able to try out Soul Transfer with Cromela was also an interesting thing to see, because we did actually come across a couple games where we were able to get extra value off of being able to exile something and then reanimate the Cromela for have Cromela to die to be able to like either get back a Soul Transfer or a different spell. So that was actually kind of cool and fun to see as well. All right. Well, we got some packs to open. Let's go ahead and crack these open. Mirror of Life Trapping. What's this do? Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it was cast, exile it. Then return all other permanent cards exiled with Mirror of Life Trapping to the battlefield under its owner's control. That is complicated. So if you cast a creature, it spits out whatever the last creature that was eaten by it, whether it be your creature or your opponent's creature. Ooh, I just thought of something evil you can do with this. So Mirror of Life Trapping. If you manage to actually clear your opponent's board, and you get this to sit there with out anything under it, you basically get your opponent to play something. It gets exiled by it. Then you could flicker the Mirrors of Life Trapping, so it leaves the battlefield, re-enters the battlefield. It will forget the card that's under it, and since this doesn't say that it gives back the card if Mirror leaves the play ever, that means that you actually deny your opponent getting their creature back. Ooh, that is evil. I'll have to think if we can maybe do that one day. Alright, let's see what's in our other pack. Will, the Pact-Bound Duelist. Let's see, so when he enters the battlefield, gain control of target artifact or creature an opponent controls with mana value 4 or less until the end of your next turn. So you threaten something, but you don't give that card haste. But if you steal a card with haste, you actually could use it. If you give the card haste yourself, that also works. So if you have like any enchantment that says all your creatures have haste, that would also work with Will. Let's see, if you do the specialized function, you may sacrifice another creature or an artifact. If you do, untap Will. After this main phase, there's an additional combat phase. Okay. So that means that you could potentially bring Will into play. Attack. Sacrifice the thing you stole with a Specialize. And get another attack. That could be very dangerous. Let's see, what's this one do? You may sacrifice another creature or artifact. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. If its mana value is 4 or greater, sacrifice at the beginning of your next end step. That's still not bad. Let's see. When you do, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. That's okay. Draw 3 cards unless an opponent pays 5 life. It's situational, so if you give your opponent control over that, it's not necessarily as good. Let's see. If you do, Will of the Fey Pact perpetually gets +3/+3 and gains trample. Okay, so it becomes an 8/8. An 8/8 trampler. Is that worthwhile? I mean, you still get to steal a creature, you eat it, you get an 8/8 trampler. At the cost of 7 mana. Meh. The fact that none of these wills come with haste is the only issue with this card. So you need to come up with something else on the board that gives it haste. I think the best ones are probably mono red, red white. Red blue's not bad. Red green is okay if you want to be stompy, but I don't think it's that amazing. I think red black is the worst. All right. Just going through the decks, seeing what we have still available for playing with. Because sadly, we are going to see a lot of cards rotate out, but at the same time, it's going to be a positive thing. We'll get some more fresh deck ideas to see play. It's not just always going to be every white deck is running the same Lumeric Aspirant. The fact that there's decks that just splash white just to run this card is just what makes it feel so disgusting. Alright. Is there any requests by anyone in chat for a deck idea that they'd like to see made? Try and come up with some decks that will be good for after rotation. So they'll be, something that you could, maybe make and take to events even after rotation happens. Because some of the cards that are going to be rotating out are going to be things like the D&D set. We are going to lose a lot of combo potential because of Kaldheim going away, but also we're going to lose the #1 treasure production card, Deadly Dispute. I think once when this rotates out, there'll be a lot of people going, oh, because it's such an amazing card. But if there's any requests for any type of deck, please let me know. Oh, I just realized the stream is still on that page. My bad. So I was opening packs and nobody was seeing it. Alright. I think we'll actually just go ahead and call the stream here tonight. This is our around our usual turn-off point. I know that we started later, and I usually like to try to continue on later once when that happens, but it's kind of a quiet night for everyone, and I figure this way I can try to get some more things set up for the YouTube. We took a bit of time getting set up today, longer than normal, because I finally got it set up so that way we can stream not only to Twitch, but YouTube as well. So hello to the people who are in YouTube, as well as those in Twitch. But I hope everyone was enjoying the stream. We'll try to have everything set up again tomorrow, and we'll be on time tomorrow for our 4 o'clock start. I wish everyone have a nice night, and hopefully see you next time. Take care, everyone.